especially with martial arts, you have to simplify. So like when you're looking at someone and trying to figure out what they might do or what you're going to do, you can't sit there thinking about it for too long.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's kind of the part of the process of learning is like, well, in reality, they can only do so many things. Right. And then basically like that can kind of help somewhat where like if you're making decisions in like a work setting or a family setting or whatever, and maybe you're the kind of person where you're like, you know, did you really consider everything? Yes, I have considered everything in all parallel universes.
Literally
right?
every single possibility.
Yeah. Right. If you're that kind of person, having that martial arts experience can kind of help you with decision paralysis, where you're able to better discriminate and be like, okay, like I don't need to worry about this information because the chance of this happening is like basically negligible.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn. And most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention. There's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather. Weirds of a feather.
All right, welcome back to Weirds of a Feather, an AuDHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Grace Beret, and I will be joined shortly in this episode by my co-host, Kristen Stanhope. And today we have a guest episode. We have Seth Robinson back in the pod loft with us. This is part 2 of his episode. Like I said at the end of part 1, we didn't break it up into 2 episodes when we were recording. We kind of just talked for 2 hours straight, and then I had to chop it in half. So sorry for these abrupt ends and starts, but, you know, we're doing our best. So this is a little intro, just letting you guys know what's going on. And without further ado, I guess let's get into part 2 of Seth's episode. And go. And now. I did want to ask you a little bit more about the martial arts, because I think that's such a wonderful outlet and way to channel and focus that energy. But yeah, just like, what do you think are the benefits for neurodivergent people in practicing those physical disciplines like combat sports?
Well, this, like anything, it can kind of come down to the training environment and the teacher. I will tell you right now, I'm going to talk from my experience as martial arts. I do want to say that most of this is applicable to any physical discipline. It can be very hard to find a place to practice martial arts that is not full of chuds.
And would you give us the official definition of chud?
What are the chud parameters?
Chud parameters. Okay, so like, profile pic is like reflective aviators. Usually some kind of facial hair taken in the seat of their pickup truck. Usually found like commenting on your local news articles with really confident but extremely uninformed or misinformed opinions.
Oh yeah, chud.
Yeah, toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah,
love it.
Yep, I know those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that's a good description of chud.
Chud, yeah. I like it.
Yep. So it's really important. So martial arts and like physical disciplines in general, really important because they teach you to be in your body,
which we notoriously struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives you data that is very hard to ignore. If you're doing some kind of combat sport, like, yes, there's always going to be like assholes with big ego, but like, if you get punched in the face, like, wow, okay, I just got punched in the face. Like that is direct feedback on the quality of whatever it is you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like you cannot argue with the results.
That's fair.
Can't lie to yourself. Yeah.
Right.
No, I didn't just get punched in the face.
Right. And then sometimes people will do that. And so then you punch them again, right?
Mm-hmm. Just proving your point.
Yeah, head on, apply directly to the forehead. So, so what these physical disciplines can do for us is really provide agency, because what martial arts taught me is that literally everything you do is a skill that can be learned or improved. Even things that you take for granted. Walking, breathing, there could be a different way that you could learn to do that might serve your purposes better.
Wow.
I'm not going to sit here like an infomercial and say, you've been breathing wrong your whole life. But
you could. I believe
most of us don't actually use all of our lungs when we breathe.
As two asthmatics, we need all the help we can get.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because these physical disciplines rely so heavily on neuroplasticity, where your repetitive actions are growing and reinforcing neural connections, that can have multiple benefits, because it's like, I don't know, there may be conditions that impede this. I'm not sure, but I imagine for most people, it is kind of true where, if you just keep doing it long enough, you will get better. It's always going to be better if you're really consciously working at it, but to an extent, if you just do a thing over and over, eventually it will just get better. Because as your neuromuscular connections develop more fine motor control, you get more granular and intuitive control and response. And the more, I forget the exact terminology here, but basically, when you learn a task, you learn it in blocks, and the repetition brings that into one schema, right? So if you're gonna kick a soccer ball, right, you gotta be okay, where do I want it to go? I gotta look where I want it to go. All right, I gotta pull my foot back. All right, now I gotta kick it. I gotta make sure I hit it with the right part of my foot, right? And I make sure I gotta hit it hard enough, right? So when you're first learning how to play soccer or something, it's really awkward because you have to think about all this shit. But you do it enough, and at least me, even as someone who's horrifically overly analytical, you do it enough, you will get to a point where the leg just goes, right? And so then you learn oh, okay, I can actually train myself. I can learn these things, and I can achieve a state of mastery where maybe I don't have to think about it consciously. And that can really significantly reduce your cognitive load. And so you can start to apply that to other aspects of your life. And you learn ways to kind of either optimize your own workflows or optimize your mental models so that you're doing less fucking work, because Jesus Christ, thinking is so goddamn hard.
It really is.
So...
Yeah, and I feel especially what you're talking about with the habits, where having certain habits, it's it doesn't ever get easier to get yourself to do it. It always has to be this conscious process. Whereas physical stuff, yeah, you're right, where it does become automatic, and then you don't have to force yourself to do it as much and consciously think about every single step. But I feel maybe we get stuck on just kind of thinking oh, well, it's going to be so much mental work and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's such a good point, that it does become an automatic process, and it will be more enjoyable because it won't be as much of a mental load, and you can focus more on getting into your body and not so much in your head.
And then that's why it helps to have it be something like this, because it's not just working and doing emotion. You're doing something that's probably fun and interesting.
Yeah,
so,
and then also in the flow.
Yeah, speaking of reward system, not only is it enjoyable, but if you're fighting someone martial arts, the penalty for doing an incorrect move is you get punched in the face, which is motivation enough for me to want to be better.
Yeah. And I feel we spend so much of our lives in that fight or flight as if we're being chased by lions, but we're not. So it's probably also nice for our nervous systems to actually
here's
be
an actual
in a real
lion
threat and be able to follow through, instead of just kind of always having this feeling of something's coming after me. Something is directly in front of you, coming after you. You have to defend yourself, and then the fight is over.
And I think that also, that kind of helps tie into some of the other stuff here. When you actually do engage in something that can elicit those responses, and you actually have the experience of going wow, that was maybe I was scared, that was wild. Then you actually start to be well, okay, that was maybe a place where it was reasonable to have that kind of response. Then you start to look at other shit, and you're oh. And you start to get a reference point of assessing stuff around you, right? And after you've done enough sports or dance or martial arts and like you've lost things or you've done good performances, you start to get a really good sense of like, oh, okay, this is worth freaking out about, or no, this isn't. Why am I wasting my time? Because you just get that experience where you're just kind of thrown into like, well, maybe you'll make it, maybe you won't. See what happens.
Yeah, it gives you that perspective of like, is this overdue paper going to punch me in the face? No, then I don't need to be quite this worked up about it.
Well, right. And that's the thing too, right? Like back to consequences, like certain things can definitely have consequences, but if they're not as direct, it's easier to ignore. Like I definitely ignored a lot of consequences from like college assignments that ended up in me like failing classes because it was easier to be disconnected from those consequences than having someone trying to beat me up. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's also like a delayed consequence,
Yeah,
right? That's
exactly.
the other thing. It's like it's pretty immediate. Like if you mess up, you're
Right.
hit in the face.
Yeah, I like those
If you-
immediate. I need those immediate consequences.
It's nice to have it. Well, because with ADHD, we have like this time blindness and
it's now or not
it's
now.
now. Yeah, exactly. It's now or not now.
And the other thing too is, especially with martial arts, you have to simplify. So like when you're looking at someone trying to figure out what they might do or what you're going to do, you can't sit there thinking about it for too long.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's kind of the part of the process of learning is like, well, in reality, they can only do so many things. Right. And then basically like that can kind of help somewhat where like if you're making decisions in like a work setting or a family setting or whatever, and maybe you're the kind of person where you're like, you know, did you really consider everything? Yes, I have considered everything in all parallel universes.
Literally every single possibility.
Yeah. Right. If you're that kind of person, having that martial arts experience can kind of help you with decision paralysis, where you're able to better discriminate and be like, okay, like I don't need to worry about this information because the chance of this happening is like basically negligible.
That's a really interesting point.
That is
Yeah.
a nice point.
Yeah, so beat each other up sometimes.
We might have to.
We might have to. Let's
start.
give it a go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, get some sock and boppers, you know?
I was just
trying to think of the word
Take
for
it old
that.
school.
Yeah.
hurt my hand more than it's already hurt, so we're good.
We might as well go nuts.
Yeah.
Or we could go to kicking.
Oh yeah, we legs only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do legs only.
Can I keep kind of like diving into the other questions on here?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
because I kind of feel like I know where this train of
Train.
thought is
Yeah.
headed.
Train.
Is
Yeah,
there a
see?
horse with that train?
Autism. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a centaur.
Ooh, a horse train centaur
Yeah. If a
combination.
centaur was conducting a train.
Oh, where would he go?
Yep.
Yeah. When would he hit the other train with the non-centaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If one is leaving Chicago
Yes,
at
that's what I meant to say,
8:45,
yeah.
Yep.
At 8:45.
At 90 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one.
The other one's leaving friggin' Boston.
Just flying down the tracks. Yes, continue.
Yeah.
So the other thing that martial arts is really important for has to do with violence, which was sort of the original concept that caused me to kind of reach out. Because this is kind of stuff I wanted to talk about because I think it might be important or helpful for people. I think probably a lot of neurodivergent people are probably know violence from being like, unfortunately, the victim of violence. And when I'm talking about violence here, I'm really thinking about it in a few different ways. I think the best way I can think of that I've tried to describe violence is when an individual or an institution imposes its will on another individual or institution to rob the latter of their agency in exchange for short-term gain without any regards to the latter party.
I think that's a very, very accurate definition.
So you can have individual violence, and sometimes that might be physical, right? Or sometimes it could be even like mental or emotional abuse, like, why are you like this? What's wrong with you? And so I want people to kind of think about violence in that sense, where it's not always physical, but it's about the philosophical principle of having your autonomy forcibly taken from you. Right. So, and it can be individual or it can be institutional, where either maybe an institution either has policies that are maybe antagonistic to you, or they withhold support that you might need for existence or success.
Like a health insurance company denying people their claims and their coverage.
Yep.
They're not directly killing that person, but through policy, they are causing harm. And I feel like we don't recognize that as violence, but it is, yeah.
Exactly. I'll give you my example of like direct physical violence that I had as a young adult. So it's like 21 or 22. I was living on the East End at the time. And I was working over at Emery Waterhouse over by Westbrook. And so I was working the night shift there. And so what I would do is I would walk from my place in the East End. I would walk over to the Metro Pulse over on Elm Street. I would take the bus down over to basically a Sagamore Village where I grew up. And then I'd walk over to Emery Waterhouse. So the way I was walking, I think I was walking down Cumberland Avenue, and I was out by the Catholic Diocese by Franklin Arterial, where it was DePietro's at the time, where Mr. Miller ended up having his cafe.
Oh, Senor Miller.
Yes, Senor Miller.
See.
I didn't know Senor had a cafe.
Senor
it was really good.
Senor had a cafe.
So
I probably would not be welcome there. Yeah.
So
definitely not.
No.
So I'm walking down the street and I see 4 guys. 3 of them are standing up. One of them is on the ground. And the 3 standing up appear to be laughing. And so I'm thinking to myself, I remember it was specifically a Thursday night. It's a Thursday night. I'm adjacent to the old port. There's 4.
Thirsty Thursday.
It's Thirsty Thursday, right? It's probably just a bunch of dudes coming home from the bars, and like one of their buddies tripped and fell, and they're laughing at him because they're all fucking drunk, right? So I kept walking, towards where they were on the sidewalk, because that was where I had to go to the bus stop. And one of them runs off, and then the two remaining are like kind of talking for a bit, and one of them walks away, and the other one starts coming towards me, and he's. This never stops being weird or silly every time I describe it. He starts skipping. He starts skipping towards me. Yeah, right?
That's unnerving, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I think, oh, okay, yeah, he's definitely drunk.
Yeah.
Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
Having fun, yeah. Playing a game.
Right. So dude gets within like 6 or 7 feet of me and friggin' like, he pulls some Def Jam shit, like jumps up, spins around, and literally roundhouse punches me in the mouth.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Just out of nowhere. And in that moment, all I remember doing is like doubling back and then like trying to shove him off me. And then I just yell, "What the fuck?" as loud as I could.
Yeah.
And dude just runs.
Coward.
I know.
Right? He besmirched my honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Fight me.
Fuck.
So basically, after everything was resolved, I ended up catching up with the guy on the ground. They jumped him and stole his cigarettes.
For cigarettes?
I don't know. That's what he told me. Maybe he had some other shit. I don't know. He asserted that he didn't really lose anything of value. I didn't lose anything. But I had still ended up showing up to work. And I was like, my face was so bloody.
Oh, God. I would have gone right home.
And my manager,
any
well,
excuse.
I didn't have a lot of PTO. I didn't have health insurance.
No.
And the manager was like,
That answers my next 2 questions.
yeah, and the manager's like, you should really go home. I'm like, no, put me in, coach. So we're Gucci.
Can't afford to.
Yeah. So, I'm working there for a few hours, and I'm like, I can't remember. Like I like just like my consciousness will just like blink forward like 50 feet.
Oh my God.
A brain injury.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh wow, that's not good. So
Yeah.
I ask one of my buddies on second shift. I talk to the manager. He gives me a ride home. So I have a concussion. And what I found out was like, all I remembered was like getting taken back and shoving him off. He kicked and kneed me several times, and I actually had bruises all over my rib cage.
Oh my God.
Still didn't knock me down though.
Oh,
Damn. Sturdy as a tree.
Yep.
What a loser.
Yeah, so he punched me in the face, and I think he came around my left side and he got some knees in.
What a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going through that whole thing, I was like totally chill, probably way more calm than I should have
You're
been.
probably also in shock too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I just got like punched, beat up. I guess
And adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
Oh, for sure.
So I end up getting terrified. I'm terrified. I don't want to go on the street, but I have to walk around at night, and I start getting like terrified of literally anyone.
Mm.
And it gets to the point where one day I'm actually just walking all the way to work. I'm not even taking the bus. And I'm walking on Park Avenue, going by Deering Oaks Park. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm able to see in the streetlights a silhouette of just someone walking in my direction. There was nothing that seemed to be threatening about them, but I just started instinctively like veering first to the edge of the sidewalk, and then like I veered into the grass. And then I kept getting farther and farther away, like as the person was approaching me. And like I was starting to get into a panic attack. And I hear the guy call over to me and he says like, "Hey son, are you okay?" And I look over and it's some homeless dude, but he's like really worried for me because he sees me like shaking and like having a breakdown. God. He's like, "Do you need anything? Like, are you okay?" And I just started crying, and I was like, no, I'm fine. It's not you. I'm okay. And I realized like I was so fucked up that I was like terrified of this dude who probably couldn't hurt me if he wanted to. And he was seriously like, he wanted to help me. And I was like, I can't live like this. I had to come to the conclusion that I could be as paranoid as I wanted to be, but if I really wanted to be really serious about it, if I was really scared about getting hurt or killed, if anyone wanted to do that, they could do it anyways, and there'd never be anything I could do about it. And so I told myself that I would rather die trusting people than live a life in fear. Never once did I ever consider martial arts to defend myself. I never wanted to beat anyone up. It was cool. It was rewarding. I had fun with it. I felt like it helped me learn more about myself and give me agency to learn about how my body worked, to learn how to function under stress, to be more true to myself. I've never wanted to hurt anybody. I've spent decades practicing violence so that I can understand violence. Because I don't want to inflict it. I want to keep it from being inflicted. I'm going to say what I believe to be a very uncomfortable truth. This might be a little controversial. I want to make sure that anyone listening doesn't hear what I don't say.
We got autism going on here. He's not implying anything,
Right.
saying what he means.
Violence solves problems. If violence didn't solve problems, people wouldn't be violent. If you want to reduce violence, you need to understand that violence solves problems. And you need to find a different way to solve those problems. Most of my martial arts experience comes from historical fencing, Italian fencing in particular, from the 15th and 16th century. One of those texts talks in detail about how violence is considered the auxiliary art, for it is that which we must bring recourse to only after all other options are exhausted.
Damn.
So there is the understanding that as humans, violence is a part of the human experience. It's neither good nor bad. It's contextual. It is a tool. And we may be right to fear violence, especially depending on our experiences being on the receiving end of it. But I feel like if we are to make any lasting social change, each of us has a duty to really investigate ourselves and come to terms with the fact that violence is part of the human experience, and where do we find ourselves in that, and how do we relate to it. And I don't say this to tell everyone, oh, everyone's gonna take up arms and do this or do that.
Get out there and start punching.
There may be a time where that is the solution for some people. That is currently not the solution for me. Everybody's different. But I don't think anyone looking at violence and uncritically panning it is doing anyone any favors, because you need to stare it in the face. You need to look at who did it, why is it happening, do we need violence to prevent this violence or not? The answer to that question will change depending on the context. But violence is how we use agency to rob agency. And if we understand ourselves in our context in society as neurodivergent people, and whatever intersection that may have with us, whether it has to do with lines of race or gender or sex, every one of us, even those of us in the most advantaged social demographic, have ways in which our agency is robbed of us constantly. And if we want to make a better world, we need to have conversations with ourselves and our communities about how we are to maintain our agency, keep agency from being robbed of us, and how to keep it being robbed from others. For some people, that may look like things that would be really frowned upon in news or media circles. I'm talking about things like potentially firearms ownership, more serious and directed martial arts or self-defense practice. I'm not recommending this for anyone, but I am saying that I think it's a reality for a lot more people than you might think. Every time I hear people, again, don't hear what I don't say here. Every time I hear people press for aggressive gun regulation, I think of the sex workers I've known, and the elderly people I've known, and the disabled people that I've known that have carried guns to defend themselves because they don't have the body to defend themselves in a different way. And I don't believe it's my place to judge that decision as right or wrong. They have to make that decision for themselves. A lot of the firearm regulations that do exist in the US in different states, in my opinion, are ineffective because they target specific symptoms without targeting the root cause of violence. And I know we all like to say, oh, well, it's mental health. That might be part of it. My opinion, if you want to see gun violence go down, universal health care. Guarantee housing.
Basic universal income.
Most gun deaths in the country are suicide. Stop giving people a reason to shoot. There are countries like Switzerland where everyone owns guns, and they don't have mass shootings. They have a different culture about it. They're all trained with guns. They have mandatory military service, but they are a neutral country, so they don't go around invading or bombing people. Whether any of us like it or not, firearms are an endemic part of our culture, and they probably always will be. I think there is a middle path to regulation that can recognize people's autonomy, that can educate people, because education is the important thing. When I first bought a firearm, it did feel a little weird walking out of the store with that big box under my arm going like, I was kind of walking around with this. But even in hindsight, in my opinion, at least right now, I don't feel like that was where the problem was. My problem was when I went online to go, all right, how do I do this safely? There's some people out there, there's some good places to watch, but again, most of them are chuds.
Yep. Lots of chuds in that,
Lot of
in that
chuds.
area.
And a lot of firearm safety can really come down to like your individual model of firearm because they can be so different from thing to thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have little idiosyncrasies where one way of handling that might be safe for one thing might not be safe for another.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no way of fucking knowing that. You gotta fucking teach people.
What is your opinion on the regulation of guns like AK-47s that can do a lot of damage to a lot of people in a limited amount of time? Would you be more? Not that I'm arguing. I just want to generally know your opinion.
I would argue that in some cases, fully automatic, high caliber weapons
That's what I was trying to
are less effective at mass killings.
Oh, really?
They're harder to control, and you're using more bullets on potentially less targets. I think probably, and I need people to understand I'm not an expert on this. I'm speaking from my opinion here. I encourage skepticism and independent research. I am of the opinion that I think the reason you tend to see a lot of AR-15 platform rifles, which are similar to what you would see in the military, is the M16, A1 through A4.
These are just numbers, but
they are designed to be easy to shoot. Okay. The AK-47 is a mass-produced military weapon, and one of its priorities was reliability. One of the AR-15's priorities during its development was ease of use, which is common for military weapons. Compared to an AK-47, the AR-15 has very low recoil. It's very easy to control. And, I mean, I don't know, I try not to pay attention too much to, like, the specifics of shooters when they go doing that stupid shit. But, you know, semi-automatic is, you know, one fire with one trigger pull. You can do a lot with that. The thing is, like, semi-automatic rifles, even more powerful than that, have existed for well over 100 years now. This isn't new stuff. I mean, like, the rifle that I got to go deer hunting with, it's literally a model that was made in 1886. And the things that make a rifle good at hunting deer are unfortunately going to make it good at dealing with other similar-sized mammals. So even when people say, like, oh, well, you should only have this kind of gun for hunting or this kind of gun for whatever, you don't need XYZ. You actually enter into a problem where is a rice cake a cracker or a cookie?
And we're back
Way
at
to
the
circle it
beginning.
back.
So-
What a transition.
So think about this, right? Let's say you want to get sports cars off the roads. Sports cars are too dangerous. How do you legislate a sports car? How do you define it? Do you define it by engine capacity? Do you define it by horsepower, torque, its exhaust, right?
How pretty it is.
How pretty it is. Any way you define it, you're going to have things that fall outside of that boundary that probably should be in there. Or you're going to have things in that category that have no business being in there. So when you want to use a term like assault rifle, which doesn't have a single firm definition, and even among collectors and aficionados has some wiggle room, you're kind of destined to failure.
That's a good point.
I don't think you can stop gun violence by regulating piecemeal against certain classification of weapons that are perceived to be more dangerous. And that's most of the approaches that we see right now.
They're certainly not giving us free healthcare.
Yeah.
So
So to make it clear, you know, I'm not necessarily saying there should be no firearm regulation. I do believe that what exists is not serving us. And I think there are better ways to go about regulation that respect the needs of agency for people, especially oppressed people. Because remember, the NRA was all about gun control when it was the Black Panthers.
Suddenly,
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
wanted to, control the
And
guns.
my poor ass is alive because of those free lunch programs.
Yeah, it's like you said, we need to look at the root of the violence, which is people not having access to their basic needs met. And yeah, it is a very like kind of liberal white person stance to say violence is never the answer. Violence doesn't solve anything. It totally disregards the fact that many marginalized people do need to use violence in order to combat the violence they are faced with every single day.
So don't be a brunch Democrat.
Yeah.
And as I often
that's such a great term.
As I often tell my friends, if you're going to do the CIA's job for them, at least make sure they cut you a check.
I like that. Yeah.
So guns are scary. You don't have to own guns. You don't have to practice shooting with guns. Fighting is scary. Violence is scary. It's something we all have to reckon with. Learn about it. Feel it. Experience it in whatever safe, controlled ways you can. Because you need to if you're going to make informed decisions about it.
Instead of kind of pretending that it doesn't happen or it's not something that you should even think about. It is the reality of our situation. And like you said, we also need to recognize these other forms of systemic violence that aren't directly in your face, but are still violence. And, with the whole Luigi thing and the CEO, people are so shocked and horrified by this act of violence, but is denying people healthcare not also violence? How
And
many thousands and thousands of people has that man killed, bankrupted, put on the streets?
Right.
To what
disabled?
extent does institutional violence foment individual violence that distracts from the cycle of institutional violence continuing? So for everyone who doesn't want to think about scary things like violence, there's probably 5 or 6 people who didn't have the fucking choice.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when we talk about, we look at the prison system and we talk about how to stop these violent criminals, it really comes down to those social issues that nobody wants to talk about because it doesn't give you that immediate sense of like justice or feeling the satisfaction of, oh, the criminals are off the streets. That doesn't actually reduce the violence. We need to look at the underlying
Why were they there in the first place?
issues. Yeah. Why were they in that position of needing to get to that point? Yeah.
So if anyone does feel passionate in any direction about firearms or weapons legislation of any kind, I would just say, think to yourself, who benefits from certain restrictions, who could stand to lose out. And instead of, yes, obviously guns are tools of violence, but also realize that violence is the only way of guaranteeing agency. All other things off the table. And so instead of seeing it as something that necessarily causes pain and suffering, understand that for many people, it is quite literally how it keeps the pain and suffering away.
Really deep thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of the death penalty where people want, again, that satisfaction of feeling like the worst of the worst, the obvious people who are definitely without a doubt guilty. You want to see them punished without recognizing that this is also going to be used against the most marginalized people. Who is making the determination of who is being sent to the death penalty and how many innocent people are we willing to sacrifice in order to get that feeling of satisfaction. That was a very interesting topic to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you for listening to me. And
I appreciate you coming on and being vulnerable and talking about vulnerable things and also silly things.
You gotta have both.
The yin and yang. Yeah.
That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah, the yin and yang. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we are almost at 2 hours.
Oh my God.
So we might need to have you back to do our part 2 of our segments another time because we really got to talking and I wanted to hear all of what we were talking about. So I'm glad we kind of spent our time focusing on that. Maybe we can just kind of end it here. Would you be up for coming back another day and doing some segments? All right.
Yeah, maybe I have more questions that I didn't get to. That I'm not mad that I didn't get to, but I'm glad you're coming back. Yeah, I got more questions.
Why don't you save them? But to kind of bring the mood back up before we end, why don't we end with at least a pizza secret?
Oh yeah.
Would you be up for that?
Oh yeah. You got to end with a pizza secret.
Yeah, here we go. All right. Let's talk about violence. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to do the song first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of
Hold
course.
on. Here we.
Okay.
I know the song is 5 words.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets.
Pizza secrets.
Pizza secrets.
But
high up.
Okay.
As high as
Go
you can
up a couple octaves.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
Nice and high.
Nice.
There we go.
Way to rise to the challenge. All right, Seth, please tell us your pizza secret.
Regale us.
All right. So this is how I accidentally traumatized my son when he was 4.
Great.
So shortly after the time that they moved in, I can't remember like the exact circumstance, but it was me and the kiddo alone at the house, and my partner was off doing something. Maybe she was at work. And I like to play video games and stuff. And so I had asked her, I was like, hey, like, I don't know what he's seen when he was like living with you or whatever. Like, are you okay with me like playing certain video games around him or whatever? And these even saying the name sounds like a stupid fucking idea.
Wait.
So
GTA 5.
no,
Diablo.
no,
Call of Duty.
no, Demon Souls.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Even more obvious.
I don't even,
Yeah, more obvious than that.
I probably could have told you no.
Yeah, right.
Probably not.
4 years old? Nah.
Well, and so then she said, well,
He's a survivor. He'll be all right.
well, she said, is it any worse than Skyrim? And I thought about it, and I was like, no, like, Skyrim can be pretty violent. I don't think there's anything like in terms of like violence and scariness. I don't think, like, I still don't think that there's anything in Demon Souls that's really worse than Skyrim. And she's like, well, yeah, he saw my old roommate play Skyrim all the time. Like, he liked it, no big deal, whatever. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And checked in, had the blessing, sweet. Anyone who plays Demon Souls is probably wondering what level did he drag his poor son through. So, I haven't played it since. So
You traumatize yourself too.
So I'm like struggling to as the Tower of Latria. So I booted up, right? I'm like, all right, kiddo, sit down. Because the thing was, like, Seth, why the hell would you play that game with your son in the first place? So I grew up with my dad playing the original Doom in like 1993 on the computer.
Classic.
And so that was like a formative experience for me. It's like having fucking nightmares with my dad and the computer.
Good times with dad.
Right. And the thing was, like, like I had seen other people on the internet talk about like playing these horrifyingly scary games with their kids and bonding with them over it. So I was like, well, okay, I know I'm a fucking weirdo, but like there's at least enough other people that have done this where I feel like this isn't automatically a terrible idea.
And they've all been 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I booted up, and this particular level in the game is it's a really horrible insane asylum with jailers that are like illithids, like mind flayers. They got like the tentacle face shit coming out.
Oh. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yeah. And so it's pretty creepy, and there's like all the prisoners are basically like mindless zombies, like screaming and like, yeah. Whew. So he's going through all this with me, and I'm checking in with him and be like, we can stop whenever you want to, right?
Is he playing?
No, I'm playing.
You're playing.
No,
okay.
no, hell no. I'm not gonna have him ruin my score or whatever.
He's not good enough
my
for that.
save file. Jeez. So I'm checking in with him, and because he had always wanted to see it, right? It's like, it's what's dad's doing. He's like, oh yeah, this is cool. I'm like, all right, cool. And like it gets to this point where like you have these there's these prisoners, and like I know because I play video games, like they're not doing anything, but I know they're going to jump on me and they're going to hit me, and it's a Dark Souls game, so if they hit me, I'm basically dead, and I don't want to die. So I'm running up to them, and I'm like cutting them in half before they even do anything. And so he
Good strategy.
So he remarks on that, and he's like, "Wait, but they didn't do anything." I'm like, fuck.
Oh no.
Okay.
You always want to use preemptive violence.
Yeah,
you want to
right?
anticipate their violence and hit them first.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna sound so good after everything I just said.
Right. Doesn't apply
This
on
is a place for confessions. Getting it
Yeah,
off.
that's why. That's
I
the
contain
whole
multitudes. I
Yeah,
contain
you do.
multitudes.
This is the whole point of Pizza Secrets.
Yeah.
You gotta get this off.
Yeah.
So that wasn't great, and it gets to the point where there's there's torture devices and shit, right? Now they're not being used on people. All right, it's just empty racks, right? And then there's like Iron Maidens and shit, and like
He doesn't know
I
what
watched
that's
Barney
for.
when I was
right.
4.
So sometimes like you open it up and there's like goodies inside, right? It's like a chest, right? So I'm opening this stuff up, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just a chest," right? and so then I get to one, right? I get to one. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's another Iron Maiden, no big deal. I open it up, and a fucking dead body falls out.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
And his poor little eyes grow big as fucking saucers. And he's like, "What happened to that one?" And I was like, well, there's a whole bunch of spikes in there, and he was put in there, and he was killed. Just because, I can't fucking lie to him or like say some
No,
stupid
because
shit.
even if you do lie to them, they're gonna figure it out.
Well, no, it's
Yeah.
also like I took him on this journey. Like I need to take
You gotta be honest.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna fuck around here. So it's like, okay, like I don't want to say it, but it's my responsibility. Like I got myself in this mess.
It'd be like if the Chokey killed people.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it.
So I told him that, and he was like, "Wow, that's he said something like, you know, wow, that's a really horrible thing. It must be a bad person who did that." And I was like, "Yes, you're absolutely right." And he's like, "I would never want to do that to anybody." And I was like, "That's a really good decision." And I looked at him and I was like, "Think we should turn this off?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm done." It's like, "All right."
Aw. Sounds like you're a Stardew Valley guy now.
Yeah.
So he seems fine, right? My partner comes home. I tell her everything. You know, I'm trying to be
Something
upfront.
terrible happened.
Yeah.
Today we learned about Iron Maidens.
Yeah. You know, I just send her the message, something terrible happened. I just don't say anything else.
Turn off your phone.
Yeah.
You shut it off, put it in the river.
Yeah. So she comes in, I tell her everything that happened, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "But you told me it wasn't any I was like, "You told me that he watched Skyrim." And she's like, "Yeah, that's way worse than Skyrim." I'm like, "No, it's not worse than Skyrim. Skyrim has decapitations in it. There's like kill cams. Like you can like rip people's arms off." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "My roommate never told me that." Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is not fully your
This
fault.
is
This goes back
A
to the
little
roommate.
bit your fault.
A little, yeah, no, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I take responsibility. I'm the dad. I fucked up. That's on me. You know, right? So,
He's like, "Dad, where's the kill cam?"
yeah. So, like, I think she starts messaging him, her old roommate, and I'm like, all right, cool. So as long as like, you know, my kiddo just kind of like forgets this ever happened, we're good, right?
Classic,
So
classic kids. They
kids at
always
9/11
forget
never
So of course
forget.
that night,
No.
right?
Mm.
He's like, Mama, help me. I'm having nightmares. I'm having nightmares that the skeletons from Demon Souls are trying to get me.
No.
And you know, she gave me the look. Just the look of any mother in that situation where like, yeah, you fucked up. I earned it. I accept that look.
You can't say, well, you said it was fine.
Yeah. Right? No, like so I was like, all right, well, I guess I have to be the one to calm his ass down now.
Yep.
And so
You're
for like
sleeping on the floor.
yeah, so
in
for
his
like
bedroom.
so for 2 or 3 weeks, you know, he would have those nightmares. She'd give me the look, like, all right, let's talk it out, buddy. Like,
Oh.
and I can't remember if he still remembers it or not. I think I brought it up.
Does he play video games now?
Oh yeah. And it was actually, it's funny because like he always loved watching me play video games, but he did not want to play for a while. I thought he was going to pick it up a lot sooner than he did. As soon as he picked it up, he does play. And, you know, I have to try pretty hard to make sure he doesn't go like overboard on his own violent killing sprees.
You unleashed a monster.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. So, but he still can get scared kind of easily sometimes. You know, Dark is still scary. He's little dude, still only like 8 years old.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's don't play Demon Souls with your 4-year-old son.
Which probably isn't something that should need to be said, but
But
you know,
here we are.
here we are. Yeah.
Should be implied, but here we are.
It's an important life lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside me are 2 wolves. At least one of them is a dipshit. So.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I feel like, yeah, It'll make him an interesting guy. I had a babysitter when I was really young who let me and my little sister watch Chucky for some reason. Don't know why. She never came back again. But I do.
Your mom.
Yeah, my parents were not happy. My mom we were PBS only kids, could only watch PG-13 at 13, like that level. So
yeah, that's why you came to my house.
Chucky is crazy. But I feel like it unlocked something deep and dark inside me, like in an interesting way. And now I do weird, dark hobbies, and that's kind of nice. So I don't know, maybe it'll make him cool and interesting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
we hope. You know, whatever
Fingers
it is until
crossed.
he makes you stranger. You know.
Yeah. Or it'll go the other way. And totally traumatizing, but either way, you know, it's a life experience. Yeah.
Animal Crossing is also an option.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
That's a nice one.
He does play Stardew Valley. He does play Stardew Valley.
Love Stardew Valley. I'm a big Stardew. I'm not good at it, but I like to play.
Yeah, my wife is all of the happy, sunshiny, cozy games. You know, she's a morning person. She wears like rainbow tie-dye stuff. I am just covered in blood and gore and black, and
it's the classic black cat golden retriever combo.
It literally, yeah.
You are the black cat.
Yep.
I am also the black cat.
I am also the black. 3 black cats.
Yep. 3 black cats. Yeah, all in a room. Sounds like the start of a riddle.
Yeah. 3 black cats.
Yeah.
Make a podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was the perfect pizza secret. That's exactly what pizza secrets are about.
Good.
I hope you feel like you got something off your chest.
Yeah.
It's
out into
there.
the world. It's very cathartic to release this.
I hope people laugh at it. I
I promise you're not the first parent who means well and had good intentions and wanted to be careful and still made a mistake like that. So you live and you learn.
Yep.
And it seems like he's doing well. He's functioning. He's not hiding in closets and terrified of the world. So
not yet.
It all worked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old niece watches like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And,
hell yeah, shy.
She's wild. She asked me to watch it once, and I was like, "No, I'm too scared."
Kids yearn for like horror and to be scared. Like it's interesting to be scared. I think it gives you a controlled way of experiencing those emotions in a place where you know you're safe. So I don't like when parents, like obviously there's a limit, but I don't like when parents are totally freaked out by their kids wanting to be scared or seek out horror or anything like that. I think it's more normal than we think it is.
One of my martial arts friends, we were discussing toxic masculinity and some of the like emotional struggles of growing up male. And something that he said was, to learn play as a boy is to learn that all acts are done under the immortal specter of death.
Whoa.
Damn.
You have profound friends. And you are a profound person.
Yeah.
Almost as much as a profunda clamp.
Almost. Don't even get me started on profunda clamps. It's different. You're going to know what it is.
I do think you should start a podcast.
I do think you should. Yeah.
You got a lot of
you have a
interesting
lot to
thoughts.
say, and you say them
good.
me word good.
Yeah. You talk good.
You
say good. You talk good.
Say good things.
I appreciate that.
You have like an elegant way of speaking and interesting things, and I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate that you reached out to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wonderful. Yeah, you said that you got the impression somehow that Chris and I were kind of normal in high school, and you've been relieved to discover that we're not.
Yeah, no, it's been very comforting.
Good.
And I'm glad that you guys do this and talk about this. I'm a very firm believer in that it's important to talk out our experiences, because especially like what you were saying with like dyslexia and all this other stuff, like, you know, we are never going to know these things about ourselves unless we have some kind of frame of reference, and to be able to share that information, we're able to de-isolate people. And to bring people in and share this experience. I think it's really important work.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean,
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like
I can tell.
I mean,
yeah.
I think it's important to share experiences. I like hearing about other people's experiences. I like when people write in and, you know, say like, thank you for sharing this has helped me. We just had someone who's in college right now. I forget her name, who just got a diagnosis. She's like a freshman in college. And
yeah, good for her. You're not going to remember
I'm not going to remember. I can't remember my own name.
Barely.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Good, and you?
But
oh, not so bad. But yeah, also I feel like when you hear about the traits of ADHD or autism, like we were talking about earlier, where you get these traits that can be two sides of the same coin or two extremes, where if you're just reading a list of traits of, ADHD, you're always late and always disorganized. Okay, well, what if you're like overcompensating and you are extremely good at being on time, but you're doing all those compensatory strategies behind
you're
the
45
scenes.
minutes early to everything.
Yes,
that's
like
not really
neurotically early.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody do that?
Isn't that just a normal,
Yeah,
chill,
just,
casual way to show up?
Yeah.
Super cash.
Yeah, just easy, breezy, beautiful.
Didn't want to be late.
Yep, yeah.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's compensatory strategies for ADHD. Yeah. So I do feel like it's nice for people to hear like so many different experiences of ADHD and autism where the root causes are the same, but they just come out in so many different ways and behaviors. And yeah, I think it's nice for people to kind of get to hear a menagerie of how the traits present. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. This was a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we didn't have a chance to get to all your segments that you prepared
we
for.
Will. We just talked about centaurs a little bit too much. So lesson learned.
You can't bring it up.
Can't bring it up.
It's an evocative subject.
You have no idea, Seth. Kristen has been talking about these goddamn centaurs, and I have to stop myself from yelling,
them make
they're
sense.
not real! The answer is they're not real. It doesn't matter. They don't sleep because they're not real. And I try to keep that inside.
But what if they were?
But what if they were?
How would it work?
But ultimately,
What do they eat?
they're not. It doesn't matter because they're not. But, it's nice for everyone to have their own interests. So, yeah, kind of just let her go on that. But yeah, we'll have you back and we'll...
This is a delicate area.
No, we're done. We're closing it out. We're done.
There's too many important structures here.
We're done. Enough. Okay. We'll definitely have you back to do some more silly segments because I definitely want to hear all your fun segments in the future. But for now, yeah, is there any resources or places people can find you? Or
are you promoting anything?
I'm not promoting anything.
Any clubs that you're gonna open?
Nope. No, I'm not doing that anymore. That is harder than I have time for.
Tough lifestyle.
But Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, honor the treaties, land back, and none of us are free until all of us are free.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
It's a wonderful way to end things. Yeah. All right. This has been Weirds of a Feather. You can find us on all the social media platforms. You can follow us on TikTok and join our Reddit group. You can email us at weirdsofafeather if you have any thoughts or stories or responses or reactions to anything we talked about with Seth. You can email us and we can pass along the message. You can DM us on Instagram. We'll definitely pass along any thoughts that people have for you. I'm sure they'll have a lot because you're a really thoughtful guy. And yeah, it was a wonderful conversation. Yeah. And yeah, you guys know where to find us. So yeah. All right. See ya.
You ready to squawk out?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's a good one. Quiet bird.
Oh, just a little guy in the distance.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting closer. He's approaching.
Accroaching, if you will. Encroaching.
Oh.
Bye.
See ya.